Venku is the #1 platform to book hunting trips online. Search and compare over 3,000 guided and self-guided hunts available across the United States. From pristine ranches out west for elk to fast-paced Texas hog hunts and swampy Louisiana gator camp, you can book it online at Venku.com. If you're an outfitter who spends all your time in the field, Venku takes the headache out of keeping up with the business side of your operation. Venku handles payment processing, waivers, bookings, and simplifies communication with clients. Get started for free at Venku.com. You are listening to Off the X Podcast with your hosts, Forrest Carvajal, Tyler Wells, Barrett Moon, and Matt Covington. Brought to you by Venku, Adventure Awaits. Pattern Pros, where simplicity meets results. Hunt Proof, the premier waterfowl mobile app. Migra, custom waterfowl ammunition. Rixie Outdoors. Wellens Land, Arkansas's leading real estate and development group. And Pond Creek Duck Calls. Call with confidence.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Off the X Podcast. I'm Forrest Carvajal, here with my best good friends, Mr. Tyler Wells. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm actually here for this one.
You are here in your own house. Imagine that.
I'm back in my seat. I kicked Matt out.
I've been banished.
Made him sit behind the camera.
I'm all the way on the other side of the table.
You were in the timeout box.
I was behind the board, and now I'm all the way over
I have
here.
not even introduced you yet, Dad. So
I'm sorry.
I like your dad hat, though,
Thank
by
you.
the way. And this is Mr. Matt Covington.
Hi, I jumped the gun.
He's in the timeout box because
here.
of his behavior last time.
Yep. Who we got?
And Barrett Moon is not here. He's still MIA. He's still working. I don't think he's gone home yet. He hasn't slept. He's still on the job site, as far as we know. And we have a guest tonight, Mr. Tanner Wolverton of Venku Outdoors. How are you, sir?
Pretty good. Good to be here.
Doing pretty good. Where are you from?
I'm from Weiner, Arkansas, so northeast, just south of Jonesboro, about 20 miles.
Oh, good. So you're an Arkansas guy. Now, you're up there northeast. Are you Woo Pig or are you somebody else? You Arkansas State?
You know, I root for whichever one of them's playing. I'm not really. I try not to get that into it. House divided. You know,
There you go.
It's football season, so I just figured I might as well go ahead and ask. I mean, they both lose all the time now anyhow, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. They're both of them are big letdown.
Well, we're going to get to know Tanner a little bit tonight. We're going to get to know Venku Outdoors a little bit tonight. So let's just start off with this, because last weekend teal season opened up. Before we hit the record button, you were talking teal. So how's teal season been so far?
Man, it's been okay. You know, like I was kind of talking about, that dividing line seems to be that Otwell, Weiner area, and it's like anything north of that, and you'll have some teal, and anything south of that, man, they're pretty thin. Our farm south of Weiner, it's in Fisher, and straight on by of you, and I mean, I sat this afternoon for an hour and never even seen a teal, and hunted up north of Weiner this morning and shot 24, seen, you know, several teal, and shot into a few good groups. We shot really good, but they're pretty thin. That hurricane just spread them out. I mean,
I hate that. He killed 24 birds. They're pretty thin. There ain't many birds. You're on the wrong podcast, homie. When we go hunting, it's like we killed 2 today.
Man, it was real concentrated before that hurricane came through.
Yeah.
And now there's water everywhere, even where there ain't supposed to be water. And them things they've done spread out. You see 100 here, 100 there, instead of 1,000 here, 1,000 there, you know.
Lord, that'd be nice. Now, see,
I saw a couple wood ducks the other day.
I seen 4 wood ducks while ago, and I was like, I'm doing something.
Yeah.
now, I only get to teal hunt when I get to during teal season. It's only 1 or 2 times.
Yeah.
But every time, I've killed at least 1 green wing, and I feel like I'm kind of an anomaly with that. Do y'all kill many green wings?
We shot 2 this morning.
You did shoot 2. Okay.
And it was pretty shocking. I think that's the first 2 that I've killed during early teal season.
Really?
Yep. I really don't recall that I've ever killed. I mean, I typically teal hunt every year now. I think that's the first 2 that I've ever killed during early teal season.
The first teal hunt, official teal hunt that I ever went on early season, I was hunting somewhere close to the house, and I actually got there late. This other group of guys, which now I know this group of guys, I dove hunt with these guys, but they got to the spot before I did. I was like, well, I'll stay far enough away from them. They smoked them. They just killed a bunch of birds. I had never killed a blue wing at this point. So I was like, dude, all I want's one. Just let me kill one blue wing. That's all I want. And here comes this one lone teal. He comes in and I'm like, oh, yes, finally. It's just floating in the decoy, it's raised up, boom, kill it. I'm like, yes, finally got my blue wing. Well, the sun was in my eyes when I shot it.
Yeah, I can already tell you the story.
So, yeah, I walk out there and I pick it up and it's a green wing. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me.
Say a wood duck.
It was a wood duck.
No, fortunately, I've never done that.
It was a mohawk, too.
So the first time I ever went teal hunting, and hopefully y'all's listeners, I hope this helps somebody out in the way that I was not helped. Shooting hours for teal
Yep.
is sunrise. It's not 30 minutes before
Correct. It
regular
is.
waterfowl season. First time I went teal hunting, did not know that. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching my phone and I'm like, teal's lighting the decoys. And I'm like, all right, there were 6 of us. And I'm like, okay, we got 2 minutes. I watched. I'm like, all right, next group comes in, we're good. We go to whamming on them. I mean, so there's 6 of us. All right. Ooh. And we liked 4 ducks having our 6-man limit 10 minutes before shooting hours came in. I did not know.
Y'all were at the Waffle House.
No, we were just thumping on them, So I look up and down the levee, here comes the game warden.
Uh-huh.
Well, is what it is. I'm not worried about it.
Yep.
We're not doing anything wrong, So he's
Just mashing them.
Exactly. I mean, sorry, we're shooting more than everybody else. But he comes in there and he says, hey, goes check on you because y'all shot early. I said, no, sir, we didn't. And I said, I watched my phone. I know. I said, no, we did not shoot. I said, so I'm not going to do that. I said, I shot exactly when. He said, shooting hours for teal is sunrise. I said, oh, you got me. He said, so I said, put the cuffs on. Understood. And he said,
straight to Joe.
He said, yeah. And I was like 14, 15, I was like, I'm red-handed, he showed it to me in the book. And I was like, okay. And so he sat there, called another game warden. They went back and forth and they said, look, we're going to use this as a learning lesson, just remember.
Yeah.
From here on out, shooting hours is sunrise.
Kudos to that game
good
warden.
Oh, man.
Teach it. Were all of y'all young? Were all of y'all?
We were all young. Yeah,
Okay.
we were all young. And he cut us a break because, he could have. Because, that's even shooting out of season. It was opening day.
Yeah.
So, it was.
He could have pinned you to the wall.
He could have nailed us. And, he let us slide. And, man, I was thankful because, like I said, I think he, honestly, though, I think what it was he could genuinely see I did, because I think he probably heard us when we shot, and he was watching. Probably he knew exactly it was
what happened
29 minutes before. He knew that I was watching, and we had teal working in, so we were trying to do everything right, and we still didn't. So that's my first teal hunting story. Ever since then, I'm like,
oh man.
So
What time is sunrise?
exactly.
I love that story. That's awesome. But I appreciate the heck that game warden that they let y'all walk like that. That's a good move.
I was, like I said, I was shaking in my boots. I ain't gonna lie. I was freaking out because obviously, like I said, it was before hours, so that meant it was shooting out of season, and it was multiple things. It was multiple violations, and I'm a firm believer in if you're gonna do it, own up to it and get the ticket.
That's true.
And so I. Kind of the story. I don't shoot before hours, but somebody said at the line, man, we ought to go out. I'm like, hey, shoot what you can afford. If you can afford, I'm like,
if you can afford the entry fee.
I can't, so I'm gonna do everything by the book. But shoot what you can afford, bud.
Just know I can't afford it, and I will be telling them. It was not me.
Yeah, as long as you're willing to own up to it when the game warden walks up.
Exactly.
Well, how does duck season look right now? If you were, how long have you been in Arkansas? Let's start there. Did you grow up in Arkansas?
Yeah, my whole life. So I'm from Wiener, born and raised, and so I've been there my whole life. I've been fortunate enough. We have a couple really good farms that have been my family for generations, and I'm blessed to be able to do it 60 days a year, and love it and go every day. And so that's where I cut my teeth on.
Did your dad teach you, or?
My dad, yeah. We're from generations, my dad. And actually my mom's dad is actually the one that taught my dad. And when they got married, and so he started taking him. And when I was, 3 or 4, my dad, we mostly, growing up, we hunted a lot of pits. We didn't hunt a lot of woods. And my dad welded a little stand together that he could hang on the side of the pits, and it made it to where when he measured me and he measured, the pit, and when I stood up, I was the same height as everybody else, looking down the pit. That way, I wouldn't ring anybody's ears, somebody's ring mine. And so did that from the time I was, 3 or 4 years old, and started going with them, and man, I've just been eat up with it ever since. And so,
what was your first bird?
It was a snow goose.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so pretty wild story. Obviously, we know a snow goose is not typical to work into a duck spread.
Right.
And me and my dad were hunting. I was shooting a 410, and at this time, the only thing you could shoot was bismuth. Like the only thing you could find for 410 shells was bismuth.
And they were expensive.
Very well. Thought they was expensive at the time. Now so like looking back, they was probably $20 for 5. Now they're $60 for 5.
I've still got an old box from way back then.
Yeah, and
they were $50 back then.
Were they? Okay.
Yes.
Well, my dad was.
I still got the tag on it.
So I didn't know.
Good night.
So anyway,
Yeah.
So we're sitting there and we're hunting, and man, the snow goose just drops right in the decoys and sat down in the middle of the decoys. My dad's like, raise up and shoot it, So I raise up and I'm like, boom, and I shoot it, and I hit it the first time, didn't even remotely kill it. It's like, it's like looking around how snow geese do, if you wounded one. So he's like, oh, so he's like popping my gun up as a single shot. So he breaks it open, and he puts another one in there. He's like, shoot it again. He's like, I ain't chasing it down. So he shoots it, I shoot it again. Finally got it and killed it. And so that was my first one. And my first duck was widgeon. And
cool.
Man,
very nice.
Yeah, widgeon. So we typically don't kill a lot of. We'll sometimes go through about a week spell that we'll kill the widgeons pretty good. But 2 years ago, man, our first split, we killed more widgeon in the first split 2 years ago than I would say I've probably killed. Maybe combined. For some reason we just had we got a pit right up against a reservoir, and they had hammered. They had just been stacked in that reservoir, and they was coming right out of there feeding in that pit or feeding in that field, that our pit was in. It was just wads of 20 and 25 widgeon. They'd pop right up over the reservoir and just set their wings and come right in there. And we were just going, we usually hunt 5 people, 6 people max, and we were shooting. If we shot our 30, we'd kill 19 to 21 of them be widgeon. It was wild, yeah.
Well, I'm curious how the numbers pan out for you this year then. Yeah. With the widgeons supposed to be up as high as they are.
Well, we'll see. I take the numbers, kind of with, everybody take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the hip numbers, when you get on and fill your hip out. I don't know how many people I know that have killed 25 plus Gallinule, supposedly, rails or Gallinule on their hip.
Since you brought that up, this is an interesting thing to me, because I've always been under the assumption that the hip number is always lower than what
I would,
because that's how the people around me have always done it. Like you would back in the day when you had to go to Walmart and fill it out, you'd have to fill it out and just say how many. I'll just put 0 on everything.
Yeah,
that way it was faster, and it was like, I don't want you to know how many I'm killing.
Yeah.
But I was listening to the Hail Call podcast, which is another podcast, and they were talking about it, and they talk like most people will boost their numbers, like, oh yeah, I killed 300 ducks last year, blah blah blah. I'm like, I never thought that people would do that, because I'm always under the other assumption. So where are you with that?
I think it's low.
Okay.
I think it's low.
Must be an Arkansas thing.
I think it is.
When I was renewing my license the other day before deer season, I went ahead and did my hip registration and everything, and it's just like 0, less than 10, or more than 10. Like I didn't have an option to go put in how many ducks.
Yeah. Used to it was you put in like your numbers. It was just blank, and you filled it out like that. I like the way they're doing it now, where it's like, hey, you 10 or more.
Yeah, and I was looking at a deal the other day, and I had to find it, but it was listing the states now that it was like, say, versus 20 years ago, where the states ranked among like 1 through 10 on amount of waterfowl, amount of ducks killed. Mm-hmm. And Arkansas dropped down quite a bit. And so that kind of could even either it's because Arkansas, but like Oklahoma wasn't on there.
California's always the most.
I think Texas was number 1 on this thing.
Really? Texas is usually number 2 or 3. California's usually always 1.
Yeah, California, man, which you can kill, 7 in California?
Something like that, but they also have like 109 days.
And I think all 7 can be mallards in the Pacific Flyway.
It might be because their population, I don't believe, actually migrates. I think it's
and they come out of Oregon up there. And there's a. I was trying to think of the name of the place up there in Oregon that holds. I think it holds more mallards than anywhere else.
Yeah, don't get me lying to you, but yeah, you're right. Like their birds don't move the same way that Mississippi and Central.
the valley, whatever that valley,
Sacramento Valley.
Sacramento Valley, yeah. And I think they can kill, I want to say 8 speckled bellies or something crazy.
I thought it was 10, to be honest with you.
I don't know what it is, but it's high.
It's a lot.
It's a lot more than 2 in Arkansas. But
I haven't checked my California regulations lately. So
you need to
get on it, man.
We're gonna need you to get to update on those.
Try not to go out there.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, I want to go out there and shoot me a cinnamon teal or find one of those Eurasian widgeon. Like those are the 2 over there that I'm like,
You wouldn't go duck hunting in California, Tyler?
If you twisted my arm, I guess.
Or 10 speckled bellies.
I could care less about the specs. To be
I
honest
would
with you.
love to take a West Coast trip one day. I think that'd be a ton of fun.
I love it.
It would be
Oregon,
fun.
Yeah, Oregon, Washington. I think that'd be. I know some guys that go to Washington every year, and I mean they burn them down. They freelance.
Yeah,
and they beat the fire out of them. Small ponds mostly.
that would be cool. It'd be just a different scenery.
Yeah,
you know.
I love hunting anything that's different. I like hunting anything that it doesn't seem like you're supposed to be hunting.
Yeah,
it's like I like ducks coming into where it doesn't seem like ducks should be coming into this spot. I remember one time a few years ago we hunted a pecan orchard.
That's cool.
Backed out in a pecan orchard.
We might know a place in Arkansas that has a pecan orchard that kills ducks.
This is like, it was just a straight road. I mean, it was straight, and it was a cattle pasture.
Yep.
Pecan orchard cattle pasture.
Where was this? What part of the state was this in?
This was northeast Arkansas.
Okay, it's totally opposite corner.
Let's make second.
complete opposite. As
Do you know Mr. Zach Flanagan?
There may be something to mallards and pecans. Maybe we just touched on something. Oak trees are out.
All I know is
Pecans are in.
So what were you? Did you just shoot mallards?
GPTR.
That was pretty much all mallards.
Okay, well, I got a picture from our buddy that he was hunting a pecan orchard. He killed 4 mallards and pintail.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was pretty freaking jealous.
Yeah, pintail's pretty wild, but yeah, man, we thumped them, and I was like, man, it's just we're in a cow pasture, and it's pecan orchards, and I mean, it's pretty wild to me. Yeah, I like hunting places like that, like that places that you don't feel like ducks are supposed to be coming into. So.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a good segue into Venku right there, hunting new places.
Hunting new places.
So before I say anything about it, we'll let the man that knows more about it give his spiel on what Venku Outdoors actually is.
Well, so I'm Tanner Wolverton, and I'm kind of wear a lot of hats with Venku, and so I'm director of business development, and so what that means is pretty much I head up revenue growth in any way that is possible, and multiple other things. And so what Venku is kind of started out as just what you would maybe think of as a booking agency, helping outfitters fill open dates, and we've seen a segue into a need in the outdoor industry that these outfitters, they love to hunt and they're experts in their field, yep. However you want to play on words. So, but what it was is, man, they don't like the back work, and they don't like the back office, and who does,
Right.
I mean, I know when I'm, I hate paperwork. I hate, and so anyway, what we done is we come out with a new feature that's it's called Hunt Pay. And so what that does is it basically allows us to get on with an outfitter and partner with an outfitter. It's not, us working for them. It's not them, it's a partnership. And what we do is we come in and we will handle the calendar system, the payment processing, the general liability waivers. It's everything that an outfitter doesn't want to do, and so we're able to provide them with a checkout link that a client can go on, and they look at a calendar and they select their desired dates. They put in all their payment information that's immediately sent to the outfitter. The outfitter accepts or denies it depending on what the dates were and how everything lines up. Then we process the payment. The deposit's sent directly to the outfitter, and 2 days before the hunt takes place, the other payment is triggered, and goes out. And then we send out the general liability forms for that to be signed and everything to be taken care of prior. All these links can be put on their website, on their Book Now button, and their social media, anywhere that they want it to be. If they're running ads, if we're running ads for them, and everybody's just one step away from checking out and being able to click the link and check out and book directly with that outfitter. And so we kind of designed that, and we've spent the last few months really just kind of fine-tuning it and making sure it's exactly what outfitters need. And we are confident now, and we work with several outfitters that have used it, and we're I mean, we work with right now just on our marketplace side. So we still book the hunts. We still help outfitters fill open dates. So if you're a hunter and you're looking for, well, what were we talking about a while ago? Buffalo hunt.
Yeah, buffalo.
How many different buffalo hunts did you see on there?
Oh, I mean, like 4 or 5 on there.
So buffalo hunts, it's a pretty rare deal. So anyway, we right now we work with over 1,000 outfitters and have actually nearly 4,000 different hunts and experiences on our website, venku.com. And so if you're a consumer and you're looking for, if you're a hunter and you're looking for something to go do and you're like, man, I want to do this, but I'm not sure even where to start. I want to go kill an Osceola. All right. You want to try to finish up Grand Slam, kill an Osceola, but I don't know where to start. Well, we have a full sales team that, that's their whole job is you call them and, they take care of everything for you. They find you the best deal on the hunt. They find you, they go through all the rigmarole, basically, and all the tire kicking.
Is that a scientific word?
I don't know. Somebody,
we know what it means.
You'll need somebody to look up definitions, or somebody on a computer.
If throw me any farther on this table, I will be. Yeah, I'll be outside on the computer.
Can you spell it? Can you spell that word?
Heck no.
Matt, use rigmarole in a sentence, but no. So basically, they're just taking care of everything, and they put you exactly where you tell them exactly what you want, and they put you exactly where you're wanting to be. There's a couple different types of hunters, and kind of the people that are going to go on a guided hunt. We also offer do-it-yourself, non-guided. And so we've got about 6 million acres of private ground that's available. And but, there's guys that they want a nice lodge, they want a good meal, and they're not really worried about the hunt. They want to have a good time, and, if they have the opportunity to kill something or, kill some ducks, whatever, then that's good. You have the other side that's which is probably the category I fall into. I don't care if I sleep on a cot that's roach infested, but if we get up and kill something the next morning, I'm in. I've slept in some sketchy places in Kansas and Oklahoma turkey hunting, for a longbeard the next morning. So you have those two different, but basically that just the marketplace side and our sales team is amazing at what they do. And you can call and say, hey, here's exactly what I want. And they'll find it, and they'll get you booked on it. So that's kind of the rundown on it, the quick rundown.
I've got one question and it was very far in the beginning of that. What was the hunt pay? Is what it's called?
Yep, hunt pay.
Okay, so I have one question with that. So if I'm a guide service, and a lot of them, especially really good ones, have repeat clients. Yep. Like they have clients that they're going to be there every year. They want the same dates every year. So how does that guide service say, okay, the Smiths always want to be here the second weekend of season.
Yeah.
How does that work? Do they need to book that, or do y'all say, okay, we mark that off, or what?
Yeah, we'll mark that off. There's a couple different ways. So actually, we also provide a QR code, which that's. If you've been to a restaurant, you've probably ran into a QR code. They took our menus away after COVID. Now we have to use QR codes. Right. But anyway.
I hate it too.
So, same here. So we provide a QR code that they can actually print out. An outfitter can have that in the lodge, sitting on the coffee table, up on the bar, or whatever. Well, the Smiths are there on 22nd through 25th of November, and they want to book again. They don't even have to talk to the outfitter. They pull their phone up. There's a QR code that says book your next hunt. They scan that QR code, pulls them right up to a checkout. They put those dates in that they want to come next year, and it's done. Payment's processed. Everything's good to go. They're booked for that next year.
Nice.
Gotcha.
So whenever you are on a outfitter's website, can they book from the website?
Yep.
From that outfitter's website, or they have to go to Venku and then find it?
So if you look on, we all know Dole. Wild Valley.
Yeah, he's been on the podcast.
Yeah, so Dole, Wild Valley, they're on with us. It's a perfect example and awesome place to hunt. I'll throw a plug in for them. Wild Valley, they do an awesome job. So basically, you go on and typically, I don't know how much time y'all spent looking at any kind of outfitter pages, but 90% of them, you click book now, it takes you to a contact form and you fill out, and then that gets emailed to the outfitter, and then they have to respond to you. Well, with our hunt pay, basically they go in, they click book now, it pulls up a calendar and payment processing. There's they don't have to reach out. So then you go in, you select your desired dates, you fill out your payment process and how many people you have going, and submit that an alert is sent to the outfitter's phone. They look up, they say, okay, John Smith wants to book for John Smith. I'm sorry.
Right.
John Smith wants to book for 22nd through the 25th. They accept or deny it. If there was some kind of conflict, they could deny it. They still have the opportunity to deny it. And then if it's accepted, deposits triggered, and everything's good to go.
And then it syncs y'all's calendar from Venku with their calendar.
Yep, that's right.
Awesome.
So they actually, you'd run your full book of business through there, and then your whole calendar is right there on your phone. It's also a great protection for both the client and the outfitter. So we can guarantee the outfitter gets their money, gets paid out. We had a guy we work with. I was telling y'all kind of about this. We work with one of the top alligator hunting, one of the alligator outfitters in Louisiana, and the man does a lot of business. We handle 95% of his whole book of business. And anyway, so he had some guys come in last week, and they were there for 3 days. He actually treated them very well. They were doing some line hunts, and which is so a line hunt on the gators. Obviously, you don't know what size you're getting. It's just whatever hits the line, and then so. So they ended up, there was 3 of them. 2 of them got gators on the lines, and one of them didn't get a gator on the line. So he actually let him go out for a trophy hunt for no additional fee, and then actually let them take another gator for free. And so they come back, eat dinner, and skedaddled about 11 o'clock at night, after everybody went to sleep. And anyway, he was out about $10,000 is when he figured it up. It was about 10 grand. And it was one of the about 5 to 10% that he does not book through Venku. And we can guarantee that, when an outfitter uses Venku, we guarantee that you're going to have your money, because prior to the hunt, we have the money collected, and we're the ones in charge of sending that to you. We don't, we're not going to hold money deposits. When a deposit's triggered, that deposit is sent directly to that outfitter. We have no contract, and we have no subscription. There's no way. So, we believe in our product. We're not going to ask you to pay a monthly fee for our product. We're not going to,
they have nothing to lose.
Exactly. There's literally there's nothing to lose. And so we believe in our product enough that we don't need you paying $200, $300 a month for it, and then a percentage on top of that. If you're making money, we're making money.
Yeah, that's huge.
The hunt pay, there's two there's 2 sides to it. There's Venku, which is the marketplace and the helping get booked, and then there's the hunt pay, which, like I said, that's the back office. That's that's
the business administration side.
That's right.
Yeah. I like that. I like that you don't try to gouge any prices. You're staying at hey, if you're going to make money, we're going to make, or if we make money, y'all make money, y'all make money, we make whatever
That's
it is.
And we keep the lights on, and so we just, like I said, that's how you just put it's the perfect way to put it. If you're not making money, then we don't want to make money off of you.
Yeah.
Right.
So
also would be more in line with, I would think you're going to try to help me more. You're going to try to push me more.
Definitely.
If you're working off of a commission,
right?
Then if you're not doing your job and you're not booking anything, then you're not going to make anything.
Well, and that's our sales team. We have a full sales team, and that's their only job is book open dates. And if you're an outfitter and you're having trouble with, let's say it's that week of Christmas. Well, if you're an Arkansas outfitter and you're having trouble with that week of Christmas because that's just a hard time to book, it's a hard time for people to get away. Well, then you send that over to us and we push it. Google ads, Facebook ads, whatever we can do, and post it. We got about somebody have to fact check me on Instagram on this, but I think 130,000 on Instagram and about 105,000 on Facebook, and we'll push that in front of everybody, and that's our job, is to help their back office and their calendar system, payment process, and general liability forms, take care of all that for them, and B, to book hunts for them. And then on a consumer side, it's our job to put you on the hunts that you want to be on. You call us with the information. You call us with the information of the hunt that you want to go on. We've got the hunt. And that's all that is to it. You can get on our website and search and compare. Like I said, I think we have over 4,000 experiences. So, a little bit of that. We do have some fishing as well.
So talking about your sales team, anytime someone mentions turkeys, and you did earlier, my mind starts spinning.
Here we go.
You said the Grand Slam, and so a lot of times guys will get around a table hanging out with their buddies. Hey man, let's go kill a Grand Slam this year. That's the end of the conversation because there's so much that goes into planning and everything. So you're saying we can call the sales team and be like, hey, we want to kill a Grand Slam this year. We don't know where to go. Help us out. Plan our trip for us.
They could book it all in 2 days.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So I'm exactly.
We've talked turkeys a little bit before too.
Look, so waterfowl is my roots.
Yeah.
And waterfowl is my love.
Say it.
Turkeys are my obsession.
My man.
Turkeys are for losers.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'd lay it.
I'm not even getting into that with you right now, Forrest.
Forrest, you got to get some diaphragms on the Pond Creek duck.
No.
Well, I
Will
said
not happen.
it's Pond Creek duck calls.
That's exactly right. It's
just gonna
Pond
cut
Creek
down
duck
first.
calls.
Sure.
There's
We need to
no
cut down
goose calls.
first.
There's just duck calls.
Well, I've killed my Grand Slam, done a single season slam, and
but there's just so much planning that goes into getting one of those trips together.
Yeah, and I mean if somebody told me, look, all you got to do is show up. I mean, you see how easy it can be. I mean, obviously this is a crazy example, but I mean, you saw the guy that killed his Grand Slam in under 20 hours.
Waddell this year.
Yeah, Waddell and that other
and Jimmy John.
I mean, they had a private plane, so a private jet.
I think it was like
it cuts a lot of problems out.
I think it was like 16 or 18 hours.
Yeah.
They started in Florida, jumped on a plane, and they just kept hopping, killed another one.
That's
Then between the group of them, they killed the Grand Slam.
Yeah. I don't care, Forrest, if you like duck hunting or turkey hunting or not. That's impressive.
No, it's really impressive.
He killed his first turkey this year, allegedly.
You didn't get hooked?
I don't know.
Allegedly.
I don't know.
He did. He just hasn't really
Duck
told the story
hunting's
yet.
What seems to be two ducks? Yeah, I've killed more ducks. What seems to be y'all's highest frequency? What do they book most of the time?
A lot of waterfowl. Tell you one that's very, very hot is iguana.
Oh, dude, it looks like so much fun.
A while ago, and I was
Iguana,
like, that looks like so
It
much
looks
fun.
like so much fun.
That's what you're excited about?
It just looks.
He's like,
it looks fun.
turkeys, iguanas. Now you got me thinking. No, they man. So that we have one hunt that's it's iguana, python, peacock, bass. So those are all three invasive.
I was going to ask if you
Game
had any
on.
fishing stuff.
invasive.
yes.
And that's a like basically triple invasive species.
Because you can kill as many of them as you want, right?
Oh yeah, they drift up and down. I've never done it, but they just drift up and down them rivers and just thump them with air guns.
Yeah.
And I think some of them, don't quote me on this, I think some of them even use like suppressed 22s and subsonics, and I mean they just float up and down the river and just thump these iguanas. And some of them, I don't know if you've. I didn't realize how big an iguana gets.
They get big.
There is some of them are like 4 foot. I'm like, golly.
I mean, in my mind, I just see myself going up and down through this canal, frog fishing, and then look, there's an iguana, and then we get to shoot it.
Thump it. Yeah,
Exactly. That
That's what
looks
I
like
was
so
thinking,
much
like,
fun.
Why not be peacock bass fishing? And then you're like, oh, iguana.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm going. Let me know when we're going.
We'll get a trip
I was
together.
watching the Python Cowboy.
Yeah.
And I was like, because he's got that German short hair or whatever that goes and gets them. And
No,
the
that
whole
stresses
time-
me out.
It goes and gets pythons.
No, it goes and gets.
No, he goes and gets the
iguanas.
iguanas.
Oh, I
Yeah.
was like, dang, that thing's
a
bad
mean
to
dog.
the bone. Like it was a python.
like,
He
Python
lets him
wrestling
out.
game.
He- Corso
He
or
hits him
something
like
for
a
that.
dog hitting a hog down there in Florida.
Yeah.
He just thumps him.
That's
It's
crazy.
impressive. But I was watching that earlier and I was like, I wonder if they offer that. That would be cool to go
Yeah,
do.
we have some. We have quite a few iguana hunts actually, but yeah, I mean, I've thought the same thing. You know, so the way that look, I'm not a beach person. I'm not. I don't. The beach doesn't do it for me.
That'll get me to the beach.
Just well, right. So what I do, my wife is a school teacher. She's a kindergarten teacher. Well, so she always wants to go to Florida, spring break. Well, so I finally got it figured out. I got a good buddy of mine comes up and duck hunts with me, and they have a pretty good lease down south of Orlando, Osceolas, and so.
Nice.
What did I do? I leveraged one and the other. Hey, I'll go to the beach with you, but what I'm going to do is while we're there, I'm going to kill an Osceola. And so now that's become our yearly tradition. She gets to hang out on the beach, and I zip out about an hour and a half south and thump an Osceola or two, and then head on back up, hang out on the beach for a couple of days, and then we head back.
Ooh, and then we go shoot iguanas.
Iguanas is
on top of that.
That's next on my agenda.
Do they eat the iguanas?
I don't know.
Or do they just shoot them just for fun?
I
Invasive.
kind of think they're like, I think they're kind of like hogs. Like,
Yeah.
I know people do eat them.
I was just curious.
But I don't know how hungry you would have to be to eat them.
I'd have been
I mean, I'll eat anything.
They're eating the dogs.
Well, I
They're
mean,
eating the
alligator tastes great.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't know if it's like a mini alligator or not.
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be a good question.
It amazes me you eat alligator. Like Forrest eats like hamburgers
Chicken nuggets.
and chicken nuggets.
That's it.
I eat
And
steak.
apparently
meat and
buffalo
tater.
ribs.
Buffalo ribs are really
Buffalo,
good.
Yeah, buffalo ribs. Meat and taters.
I don't eat
He don't eat
potatoes.
potatoes.
Potatoes?
No. I eat French fries, but not potatoes.
Carnivore diet? Oh.
No.
No,
Gotta have a
No,
forest
forest
diet.
Kids meal. Kids meal.
Yeah. Excuse me. Do y'all have the dinosaur nuggets?
right.
Listen, there's a restaurant in. Actually, I am going to call them out. Fuji in Conway. Bunch of losers. Listen, I went in there one time and I was like, I don't eat any of this stuff, but they had chicken tenders on the kids menu. So okay, I want the I want the chicken tenders. I said, no, you can't have that. It's on the kids menu. Like, you want my $10 or not?
for it, yeah.
And they said, no, you can't order off the kids menu. I said, bring me a Dr. Pepper and just keep them coming. That's all I want.
About to cost y'all money tonight.
You're not even Japanese?
No, I was,
Dude,
I hadn't been back.
Cheeseburgers, chicken nuggets. I guess buffalo ribs now.
Steak. I eat steak. I eat steak more than I eat those two things.
Catfish?
Oh, yeah. I like catfish.
Okay. Good deal.
Yeah.
We're learning so much.
We can hang out then.
Yeah, he's easy to feed.
Catfish. Dude, some flathead, belly cut.
So, okay. Well, I want to go back to this. Like,
right.
you got me with the iguana thing. So, what about bear hunts?
Yeah, we have actually several bear hunts. Got some in Maine. Some very good hunts in Maine, British Columbia.
Yeah, that's what I was
we
thinking.
We have black bear, grizzly. I mean, man, I'm telling you, like I said, we got over 1,000 hosts and over 4,000 different experiences. It's anything. We have anything you could think of. We work with some companies internationally on a small level right now. We're kind of tapping more into that as we go on. There's a lot that goes into that. South
bet.
Africa and currency change,
Yeah.
things like that. There's a lot that goes into that. We're kind of making all that work and getting all that figured out, but there is a lot that goes into it. But yeah, bear hunts. Maine we have a guy out of Maine that's just on fire with the bear hunts, and they have, I don't know, I mean, and we have several guys that have like upwards of 90% success rates on
Dang.
bear hunts. Yeah.
Wow.
Maine is another great place to take your wife too. If you want to go up and bear hunt and take her somewhere pretty, I mean,
Yeah.
Maine is incredible.
Have you been to Maine? Mm-hmm. I would really like to go. I don't
Yeah.
know exactly why, but I've got an interest to go to Maine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to go to Maine like in the fall.
Yeah.
Like I guess maybe probably right now, probably
Yeah,
a week
this
or
is-
two, maybe.
Yeah, this is when I went.
Yeah.
This time it was
What were you
beautiful.
there
The weather
for?
was.
Wow.
I was filming some bear hunts.
Oh.
And then we went out and ran lobster traps one
Yes.
morning. That was cool.
Nice.
Jumped in the boat and went out there.
What about sea duck hunts?
I got some sea duck hunts.
Listen, I'm just going to chase rabbits here
Go
and
ahead.
follow into all these different
I don't know
different
anything
types of things because I'm curious about it.
I know nothing about sea duck hunting, so I don't
Really?
know much- yeah.
So,
I'm a puddle duck hunter.
what about those?
I'll shoot a diver. Don't
What
get
is
me
it?
wrong.
The emperor eider?
No,
Is that
the
what
king
king
eider.
eider. King eider. Yeah.
Close. Emperor,
Yeah.
king.
That's penguins.
Yeah, no,
Can't shoot
no. Penguin hunts.
We don't have any penguin hunts.
Golly, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Cut the podcast. Yeah, I like it.
We'll see how this goes. We we do have a lot of sea duck hunts. And we got some out on the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
And king eiders. We do have a king eider
Okay.
outfitter, and I'd love to go do it one of these days, and I probably will. But and I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. A bluebill comes in, I'll thump him.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
I love a good puddle duck.
Did y'all see that
Puddle duck.
Nick and Ashley Kaplan were shooting brants?
Yeah.
Banded
The
ones.
think
banded ones
brants
at
would
that,
be- I
dude.
think
Oh
brants would
my
be pretty
gosh,
cool.
I was so
Speaking of-
jealous.
Bands will get off on a little.
Do you have a
tangent here.
dream hunt?
Man, I don't think I do.
Yeah.
honestly. I mean, I think something. I think a moose with a bow.
Uh-huh.
You
Oh,
know,
dang.
That would be
something,
pretty
some
cool.
kind of big game. And I've been invited on just, I mean, all kinds of hunts, and I think a moose with a bow or something along those lines would be pretty cool.
Why?
But, why?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. It's probably just I like the like when I think of Alaska, man, I like the just the like old school rural, like just the thought of it being untouched.
Yeah.
you
The
know, I mean,
wildness of
it's
it.
yeah, I mean, it's just the wildness of and it's the tundra, and I mean, there's no developments, and I think Alaska is one of my, I mean, that's one of my top places I think of, when I think of just pristine.
Yeah.
You know, and I think to be out there and be in amongst it, and you know, especially with a bow. Obviously, we've come a long way since what the Inuits were hunting with, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, so I mean, I just think that being out there would be, you know, and getting to immerse yourself in it. I think that'd be pretty interesting.
Okay. Then what about mountain lions?
Mountain lions, I would do it.
It looked.
I don't have nothing against it. I probably.
Do you have those hunts though?
Yep.
I would assume that you do.
Yeah, we actually have a guy that is out of Utah. If I'm thinking off the top of my head, but I think he's out of Utah. Maybe. Anyway, Josh Horrocks is his name, and he runs hounds for mountain lions, and he actually sent a pack of hounds to South Africa to hunt leopards.
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
he shipped them down there, and so he goes every month, every month. He goes for a month every year, and hunts with that pack of hounds and hunting leopards in South Africa.
I wonder what those dogs thought the first time they treated a leopard.
That's exactly what I was thinking about the dogs. Like, where the heck are we going?
Yeah. Can you imagine on a 18-hour flight? Like, geez,
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure it wasn't first class.
Right.
Is that a zebra?
Yeah.
Not only that, but they step off the plane. They're like, it is not cold here.
Yeah, so I always thought that was pretty crazy. He sent me some videos back when he was there. I want to say he goes about August. Is about when he goes. And he sent me some videos, man. He was just right through a tree line. I'm talking 10, 15 yards from this big bull elephant, staring them down, you know.
Whoa,
I'm like,
that's
you
a
know,
little
that would
freaky.
be nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Stand there in front of a bull, you know, an elephant at you 15 yards.
Man.
I don't have a giant desire to hunt Africa, but I would love to take a camera over there and just go on a safari.
I would
think
like
it
to
would
have
be
a weapon with me if I went to
Well, yeah.
Africa.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, I was talking to a guy the other day. Africa is really not expensive to hunt.
I've heard that. It's
Getting over
getting
there. And when you kill something, you're going to want to mount it. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, like you want to mount it. Well, then kind of got you by the tail because they got to mount it over there and then ship it to you. So you don't really have any options of running around and looking for your local taxidermist.
Yeah.
And
I've heard
you
that
know,
a ton, though. Actually, hunting in Africa is
hunting
not
it-
that expensive.
No, I mean, you can go get 5 animals for, I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking off the top of my head, but $2,500. You know, I mean, a kudu, an impala, Jim's Bach wildebeest, and you know, some other kind of, you know, warthog, something like that. I mean, it's like $2,500. But like I said, your flight over there, your flight back, your taxidermy, then it starts adding up. You know. And so it's kind of like Argentina, you know?
Yeah.
So Argentina, you know, it's not that high to hunt in Argentina. I actually made the mistake of buying I was at a Ducks Unlimited banquet, and maybe I was at a Delta Waterfowl banquet, and bought this dove hunt from Argentina, and thought, man, I got a really good deal on that thing. It was like 4 or 5 people. I think it was a 4-person. I got it for like $800. I'm like, why is somebody bidding on this thing? Well, so I bought it, and I was like, dude, I called a couple of my buddies. I'm like, we're going to Argentina. You know, I'm like, $800. Check this out. So then I get on there, and I'm like, the flight's $1,750, and I call the guy, and I'm like, hey, how much is shell? Like, how much should I plan on spending in shells? He was like, how much do you want to spend in shells? I was like, well,
They'll just keep giving them to you down there.
I was like, I don't know. I was like, I need you to tell me what I need to budget for shells, you know? He's like, I don't know, you're gonna be here for 5 days. You could probably spend, I don't know, a few grand. A couple grand. And I was like, So then I started, never went. The hunt expired. $800 just down the drain. I should have just donated $800 to Delta Waterfowl.
Called your buddies. Just kidding, fellas.
Yeah. I was like, I want to go. We can go. And they were like,
Nah.
I couldn't even come up with 4 people that wanted to go with me. So I was like, all right, you know,
It's a little too far to drive down there together, too.
yeah, it is. It's a long drive, I'll tell you, and you got to get a amphibic, you know, vehicle, and you know. Yeah, I would love to go. Argentina would actually, you're talking about a dream hunt. I think Argentina would be cool, duck hunt in Argentina.
It would.
Yeah.
I've heard some interesting stuff about like their government and stuff. Really is kind of, I think, bringing the hammer down on some of the hunting over there.
Really?
From
That's
what
no
I heard,
good.
a buddy of mine went July before last, and I think they told them that they were even expecting within the next 3 to 4 years, actually shutting it all down.
What?
Wow.
Really?
It's not necessarily the hunting as much as it is, and this is just from my understanding, like I said, as much as just people having firearms.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Well, that's no good at all.
No, and it's obviously the dove are a nuisance. You
They
think
got to be like decimating crops.
Well, even the ducks, they kill a ton of ducks. But the one thing, like anytime I watch Argentina, I'm like, oh, it looks like so much fun. But I always go back to all they've got is whistling ducks.
Yeah.
Like I would go down there and like I want to blow my duck call.
Yeah.
But they're like, I don't know what a mallard is. Like, what is that? That's not a duck call down here.
How do I call a rosy billed?
Right. Like this is not near as fun.
A white cheeked pintail.
Yeah.
What do I make that? And I tell you, probably now that we're sitting here, you've got my wheels turning on a dream hunt right now. I think possibly and it's probably up there, and it may be my number one dream hunt, and I will do it 100% within the next 5 years. A New Zealand turkey hunt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So New Zealand has no natural predators.
Right.
There's no, and you go like, I think it's the South Island, and there's no limit on turkeys. And they're just everywhere. They just like typically, like an outfitter or something will give you a limit of like 5 a day, and it's all Merriam's.
Mm-hmm.
And,
so what would you shoot like a regular shotgun, or since they're so easy, would you take like a slingshot or?
Probably
Big stick.
Yeah, like a sling.
Spear.
Yeah. No, I think they have no regulations on, but I wouldn't. I'm not. There's like obviously Texas, and there's some states you can shoot turkeys with a rifle, but I just that doesn't get me going. And but I'd love to go over there just shotgun and just spend a week over there. Just hunting as much because I love the turkey hunting, man. It's just I don't know. It's just the thrill. Just when you get one hammering, right there in front of you. And there you can feel it in your chest.
I wouldn't know anything about it.
Well, would the one you kill come in silent?
Yeah.
Did it really?
Sure.
Okay.
They both did.
We both came in pretty silent.
Everybody was sneaking up on everybody.
So y'all gave them the old sneaker.
I pulled the sneak-a-poo on one. Yeah.
You got to do that sometimes. Look, people getting this is a waterfowl podcast. We won't touch off too much on but the reaping deal.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't reap it. I didn't do that.
Matt, what's your thoughts on the reaping?
If it's legal and you enjoy it, go for it.
Dude, I'm telling you, I've been out of state, and I'm 12 hours from home, and I'm on the last day, and I ain't killed a turkey.
Right.
You can bet the fan's coming out.
Yeah, I had half of a day to finish a Grand Slam in Oklahoma, and I pulled that fan out, and I finished my slam in Oklahoma.
What I mean. Like if I'm away from home and I'm like, it's coming down to the wire now. Arkansas, which I've tried it in Arkansas, to be honest with you, and I've never had luck with it, man.
It doesn't always work.
Turn and run the other way.
It does not always work.
If it's not a semi-dominant bird or the dominant bird.
People who think it's a cheat code have not reaped.
Yeah, no, I believe more times than not that I've tried it. They've honestly turned around and tucked tail and ran. And but yeah, Arkansas, man, it just seems like a strutter decoy is not even just setting up, And I sometimes run a Jake decoy. Most of the time, I try not to run a decoy, but if I'm setting up in a long road or something like that, then run like a hen and a Jake or something on top of her. And but yeah, strutter decoy, man, I don't know. It seems like here, Mississippi, they don't like them. You get out west, you get out west, they're a little froggy.
Yeah,
they're ready to
come running.
They're ready to fight. They're like. But no, we have like I said, you were talking about with the Grand Slam stuff like that. That's kind of one thing we've been talking about is actually putting together a Grand Slam package.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Just having.
I had that thought on the way up, and I was about to text you.
Yeah,
but I'm sure they have it.
Yeah, so
they do now.
We've been working on that. Is just getting together with like our 4 species, our top outfitters from each one, and just having a Grand Slam package where you're literally one click and.
Gummit, that was my great idea, and you already have it. We were even going to talk about it off air.
Dude, you gotta get ahead of the game.
I know.
Golly, man. So what y'all's thoughts on this upcoming duck season?
Hey, before we do that,
go ahead.
Do y'all know the limit on mallards in New Zealand? And
they have mallards in New Zealand? Oh, in New Zealand.
52.
I just texted the guy to see if I'm right. It's either 20 or 30 a day. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I thought it was 25.
The first weekend, they go out there on these cattle parns, and they kill 600 to 700 mallards.
Yeah, it's dumb.
It's crazy.
There's no, which I might have said this a while ago, there's no natural predator
right.
on the island of New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why like the turkeys don't even just sleep on the ground.
Yeah.
And the ducks, they have the black swans.
Yep.
Black swans, shell ducks, which I guess are massive.
Spoonies.
You know, they have Australia and
Paradise ducks.
Yeah, they have Australian spoonies. Ain't that right? Yeah.
Oh, it's something like that. They got a couple different kinds of spoonies. Yeah.
And yeah, so we have a couple hunts in New Zealand.
You drop a herd of Arkansans off there, and they would learn real quick that there's predators in New Zealand.
I
keep trying not to be the guy that's like, I've been there, but I have been to New Zealand filming before, and it's crazy. You walk around, and you're just used to looking on the ground for snakes, being from Arkansas.
Yeah, right.
You're like, what are you doing? Looking for snakes. No snakes.
Filming a duck hunt?
Looking for
They
coyotes.
don't have snakes?
No, it was...
No, there's no predators.
There's no predators. There's nothing. No coyotes. You kill a stag and you have to like take it off to a place where they bury him at the end of the year because there's nothing there to eat it. You can't just leave it.
They don't have buzzards or nothing?
There's no predators. There's nothing there that'll eat the carcass.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Pretty wild.
It was a stag hunt.
Okay, stag hunt. So you didn't do any duck hunting?
No, we were like 2 weeks too early. So when we go back, we're going to time it where we can kill some ducks too.
Yeah.
Hopefully a turkey.
You got me thinking there because one of the things that I would really like to do is fly fishing in New Zealand. Do y'all do fishing trips too, or is it just hunting?
No, we have some fishing trips. Our primary focus is hunting. I mean,
okay,
that's where we're centered at. We do have fishing.
Yeah.
We do have fishing trips as well. I don't know if we have any New Zealand fishing trips.
I would love to go mouse fishing in New Zealand.
A guy mouse fishing.
That's a mouse fly.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to say it, but I was like,
I haven't caught many mouse on a spinner, but
it's fun. You should see it, dude. They bounce everywhere. It's great.
Well, so I was talking to a guy. I was in Nebraska pheasant hunting, and I was talking to a guy that was a pilot for Southwest, and one of his main flights was, it was like wherever to New Zealand, and he was a big fisherman. Well, he'd put his fly fish, he'd break it down, and keep it in the plane. And when he got there, he would usually have like a 3-day layover, and that's what he'd do. Is he would, in between flights, he would just go out there and fly fish in New Zealand,
awesome.
and it's all spot fishing.
Yeah.
So like it's just all clear. 5 foot wide cold water. On there. You just walk up, toss it right in front of their face, and he was showing me some pictures of some of the trout that. But I've fly fished one time, and we were up on at North Fork.
Yeah.
Right there at the.
It's a good place to be.
I love the North Fork.
We went with the guide because me and my brother. It was me, my brother, my dad, my cousin, and none of us had ever fly fished before, and. We beat the tar out of each other with these flies. They trying to whip them back and forth. Dude, we were welted up by the time we got done. Like on our back, we hooked the guide. Like the guide's like, dude, it's cool. He's like, it happens all the time. He's like pulling out the top of his head. I'm like, oh my god.
He's like, here's a spinning rod.
Yeah. So anyway,
who was your guide?
I don't know.
You don't remember?
No, I'd have to. I think I got it. He was originally from Colorado.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so they ended up. My dad was up there and caught a 15.5-inch brook trout.
Nice. Holy cow.
So the guide that was with them, me and my brother were in a boat, my dad, my cousin, and the guide's like freaking out. Wouldn't let my dad touch it. He's like, no, he's like, I'll handle this thing. Pulled it, and the guy was like, man, I've been guiding up here for, I don't think he said like 16 years. And he was like, it's the biggest one I've ever seen caught out of here.
That's cool.
He was like, this thing is massive. My dad was like, the only thing my dad's ever caught is like catfish and brim. He's like, I don't know what this thing is. He's like, I have no idea what this
a lot
thing
bigger
is.
fish than this.
He's like, what do you mean? That thing's not that impressive. What do I do? Just lip it? He's like,
he just throws it back.
Yeah. He's like,
golly.
But yeah, caught a good trap. But we caught several fish once we finally got it down pat. But I love the fly fishing, man. It was
fun
and it's surreal. It's like a lot of serenity, and yeah, I thought it was super fun. I could really see where you could get into like the wading and spot fishing. I love any cold water fishing. Smallmouth trout. I'm not. Man, the bass and crappie. I like crappie. I like good crappie fish. I love to eat crappie.
Amen.
But the bass and stuff like that, I don't know. They don't get me going. But trout and Gastons, you ever go up like Gastons, like that area, and you go and put in a Gaston and caught several fish up there. You're not gonna catch many studs, but catch a ton of rainbows that are 8 to 10 inches.
Stalkers.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what time it is in New Zealand, but he responded, and you were right. It's 25 mallards a day on the South Island.
He's like,
could you imagine?
It's like 4:45 in the morning. He's like, why is Matt texting?
He's waking up to go duck hunting. That's what it is. He's about to go shoot his 25 birds.
What is is their season like summer for here, right?
It's in. Oh yeah.
Like their season there is what would be our summer.
Yeah, so we went in February, and that was starting the rut. So Yeah, it's opposite.
Yeah, because that's the same way with like Africa, I believe. Like our summer, or no, I'm sorry, Argentina.
Yeah,
you know, you're going to duck hunt there.
Yeah.
Like I think it's like June, July, August, something like that.
I've been there too.
Argentina. Look at this guy.
Matt's been everywhere.
Check out the
That's why he's down there on the other end of the table.
Check out the fancy pants on this dude.
Behind the camera working. Behind the camera.
Let me just turn his microphone.
Then let's go to Matt and say, okay, if you can book a hunt through Venku, you've got unlimited amount of money. What hunt are you going to book? Like your dream hunt? What are you doing?
Unlimited amount of money changes it a little bit.
Oh gosh.
Dream hunt is elk with the bow. I'm going to make that happen sooner than later, I hope.
Yeah. Is it a specific place or just like elk with a bow?
I love Colorado, Pagosa Springs area. Have some buddies out there that I've gotten to know over the years going down there.
You know, Colorado, this is the last year you could buy an
over the counter.
tag.
Yeah, no, they're changing all of that.
I was just going to, since you were over here, I've been in New Zealand, I've been to Argentina, I was going to dampen your...
He needs to be put in a little timeout box again. I mean, he's sitting over bragging.
But let's hear the rest of them.
But I would go back to Alaska, and I don't know what the hunt would be, but something with my bow. Just being out there in the bush, getting dropped off in the middle of nowhere. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Any desire for like a grizzly?
No, I don't really have any desire to kill a bear, period. I'm not against bear hunting by any means.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things I'd rather spend my money doing something else.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you. Like that's one that for some reason it just doesn't trip my trigger. I don't have any reason to like. It's cool, great. If you want to kill one, whatever. But I just have no urge to do that for some reason.
I think one time would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't. It's not something that I could see myself like really just going crazy on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I think one time black bear with a bow.
Yeah,
you know, all right, cool, done it. Check it off the list. I mean, maybe once I did it, I would be hooked. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know. I mean, I've never done it, so I mean, maybe once I did, I would be hooked. But man, I know we book a lot of them. I mean, there's some people that are just. I mean, they're all about it. That's what they. You know, that's what they want to do.
That's what we were filming up there in Alaska was a coastal brown bear.
Oh, really?
And those things are so impressive, just the sheer size of them. We had one come through camp and tear everything up and thought, like, I don't have a desire to kill one, but I may have to right here. It got kind of sketchy.
Is that the one that ate your birthday cake?
Yeah, it was my birthday. The cook back at camp surprised me with the birthday cake, didn't tell me about it. They flew us in on the Super Cub, dropped us off, lit the birthday candles, sang me happy birthday. It was really cool. We went out hunting. We came back, and the freaking bear ate my whole birthday cake. While we were out, I never got to have a piece.
And he has still no urge to go back and get that bear.
Yeah, at that point, you have a vendetta. Yeah, right. You know, right. Like I need to, I need to get back with this thing. But yeah, that's pretty impressive though. That he even went for the cake. You know,
he went for everything.
Sweet too.
Oh, did he? Okay, there was multiple things.
We got back to camp, and there were 3 Reese's peanut butter cups on the ground, and I panicked that he was going to come back, and I ate all of them. So, I don't know why that was my first instinct, but I'm like, I have to eat all the Reese's before he comes back.
So that you smell like the Reese's
that's
now.
What I was going to say. Not to think like he's going to come back.
Yeah, exactly. Now
I left
breath.
3 here.
Yeah.
I ate my Reese's.
I had Reese's in my left hand and a 357 in my right. So I was ready for him to come back.
Isn't it funny how like the like when you're fear or like when you're like fight or flight, your fear kicks in.
Yeah,
it's like
fight, flight, Reese's.
Like weird things that you do.
Now we know.
One time, me and my wife, we were at the time we were living in a trailer and we were building our house. We were living in a trailer in the meantime, and we look and there's a tornado coming out across the field behind the house and coming right across one of the duck pits. I'm sitting there watching it, and I deadbolted the door. Why did I do that?
That tornado ain't coming in this house.
I was like, well, you know what? We're gonna lock this thing. And I just locked it. I was like the deadbolt the door was gonna do something. I was like, I'm gonna have to lock this door right now.
Tornado's like, well, can't go over there.
Darn, he locked it.
Sam, get your keys. Lock the car. Lock the car. Yeah, I did. I was just freaking out, and I'm watching it come and it was kind of coming at an angle, and wasn't sure if it was gonna come our way or if it was within 350 yards, 400 yards, and it was close, and blew a bunch of grain bins away, blew a gooseneck trailer around. And,
he didn't open your door though, did it?
No, it didn't.
No,
you dang right.
Deadbolt worked.
Deadbolt. I said, you know what? If I wouldn't have deadbolted that thing, this whole trailer would have moved.
Gone.
Okay, I like the question for like the dream hunt. So let's go. I want to go around the table. Dream duck hunt that you could book through Venku. Matt, you got to start.
Yeah, I'd stay up in that West Coast like we were talking about, maybe Oregon or Washington, get down in those valleys and the big mountains. I think that'd be awesome to shoot a mallard coming through, dropping down and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me? You want me to go? Or?
Yeah, go ahead, Tanner.
All right. Dream duck hunt. I think I might have to go with Small Warm Water Creek, Montana, up there, You
stole mine. I'll have to think of another one.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
We could go on the same one. We could all go on the same one.
Like Colorado.
We'll leave Matt out. He's been to Montana.
Yeah. Of course he has.
Not me pulling up a video to show you guys from Montana.
A foot of snow on each side, and just Warm Water Creek.
Yeah.
3-4 foot wide, watching them drop down in there.
Yeah.
I think that's got to be. I think that does it for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, with a sub gauge, just sitting there, and just picking them off at like 15 yards.
Oh yeah.
He stole it. You got to pick something different now.
He said Montana. I was going to say Colorado.
Okay.
So
Colorado.
Okay. Okay. Well, you stole my warm water deal in Montana. I wanted to do that. I've never killed flooded timber ducks in Arkansas. That might be one that I'd have to do.
it's because he never picks his gun up.
Your dog's retrieved many flooded timber ducks. You just haven't pulled the trigger.
Oh, let's see. It's between two. So I'd like to go northeast and like be around a bunch of black ducks.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that. Yeah. But I'd also like to go to the Great Salt Lake and shoot ducks there.
Yeah.
And see that how that looks.
Layout boat?
Yeah. Maybe a layout boat or something. Swans would be cool too.
Swans would be cool.
I'd really like to go shoot a big swan.
Do y'all watch the Hunt 41 series?
Sometimes.
That they put out?
Yeah.
I think that's really cool, spotlighting all the different types of duck hunting across. Have you seen it before?
I haven't.
So there's 41 species of waterfowl, and their goal is to hit
stickers, and like I know a guy that is actually on his 39th, but they're trying to get.
So they're trying to hit every state that you can duck hunt in and kill all the species.
Yeah, is that where they have the van? They have like a van. Maybe that's a turkey deal.
Yeah, it's not that.
Okay. Yeah, scratch that.
Anyway,
yeah, there's a
plug for them. If you ever get bored before waterfowl season, go check out that Hunt 41 series because it's really, really cool.
Yeah, or go book a hunt on Venku.
Yeah, I mean,
if you're bored.
If you're bored, watch that, see what state they're in, and then hit up Tanner and his sales team.
Yeah. So we're actually gonna kind of start doing a lot of some organic content, through us, and kind of highlighting our host, and kind of even tossed around the idea of like a mini series of kind of me going around and getting with our outfitters and like kind of doing some do-it-yourself stuff and just highlighting some, that's my thing is you watch, and the kind of the way that I got started with Venku was actually a pretty interesting deal. So me and a business partner of mine, I had went to him and I said, man, I got the idea. And he said, what's that? And I said, Airbnb for hunting. I was like, all these people are leasing these pits out. All these people are guiding these hunts, and why ain't somebody doing this? And anyway, so a week later, he hollered at me, and we got our offices are together, and he walked across there, and he said, "Hey," he said, "come here and look at this." He pulled his email up, and it was a investment opportunity, and it was for Venku.
Huh.
And I said, well, I'll be darned.
Get with the program. You're talking about me with these turkey things.
Yeah, he said, weren't you just telling me about this like a week ago? And I said, oh, well, so anyway, he got a lady who called him, and so they came up and gave us a investment pitch, me and him, and I was like, this is verbatim what I was talking about. And so anyway, all things went good there, and the investment pitch and all that, and then it wasn't probably a week later, I actually got to talking with them back and forth about, kind of who they kind of reached out about maybe going to work for them. I was like, I've been self-employed my whole life, so I didn't really, I never had thought about doing anything like that, and we basically ended up getting it worked out. And I'm a firm believer that it was a God deal.
Sounds
firm
like
believer in Christ and God, and I think God put that opportunity right there. I mean, like I said, it wasn't a week earlier. I said, man, I got the idea, and I literally described Venku to him, And it was, like I said, a week later, he come back and he said, look at this right here.
And, people always talk about like looking for that open door, Yeah. I love it when God says, here's the open door, and he just kicks you through it. Those are my favorite.
There was no denying. I was like,
is this him? Is this not? Yeah.
Yeah. And he just kicks you right through it. I love that. That's a great story.
I was like, now I have to make this work. I was like, there's no way I can't make this work. And so I believed in the idea, and I believed in the, and I still do. I'm a firm believer in it. And like I said, there's kind of like what Matt was talking about. I mean, outfitter, it's nothing to lose.
Right.
Our biggest competition, to be honest with you, is a pen and paper. Mm-hmm. Pen and paper, then having to go collect payments on whatever kind of payment processing that you use, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. And it's just not very professional. Mm-hmm. It's to reach out to somebody and be like, hey, man, here's my Venmo, shoot me over that money. And then, not to mention that, then everybody rolls into town. You got to get the general liability. You got to get the waivers, filled out, because we know how today, today's age, it's like somebody can shoot their own toe off and sue you. And so we make sure all that's electronically filed. And, your calendar is all in one place. We handle all your payment processing. There's no chasing that down, no chasing down, making sure everybody's got their general liability, making sure all their waivers are formed. We just handle all the back office. And actually, the outfitter out of Louisiana that I was telling you about the gator hunts, he done a testimonial video, and he said, look, if you're, he's Cajun, he said, look, if you're good at doing your job and you catching and you killing, Venku does everything else for you. He said, all you got to do is do your job and be catching and killing. Mm-hmm. And, that's a perfect testimony to what we do and what we're trying to do. And we do a really good job, and we put a lot of emphasis on, feedback, outfitter feedback. We want it, whether it's good or bad. And, if it's bad, then we're going to change it. If somebody, if an outfitter comes to us and they say, on the flip side, on the client, they come back and they say, man, I booked this time, and we do a great job of vetting our outfitters. Obviously, we have over 1,000. Mm-hmm. There's going to be some fall through the cracks, you know what I mean? And so the client comes back, they actually have the ability to file basically a complaint against them. And if we find the complaint necessary, their money gets refunded. And wow. So it's like I said earlier, it's a protection for the client and for the outfitter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
when they go through us, because we're a non biased third party. Mm-hmm. And we're putting the two together, and we want the outfitter to get his money, and we want the client to have a good time that's paying their money. Well, if the client has a founded, obviously if you go duck hunting and you don't kill any ducks, well, like if the lodging was great and the meals were great, but you're like, man, we didn't kill anything. Well, that's not exactly a founded reason for your money back. But if you're like, hey, look, here's the pictures of this place, and here's the pictures of what we stayed in, it's like a little shack, then okay, that's a founded reason, and we're going to make sure that that's taken care of and that's addressed, and you're going to be taken care of. But, and for the outfitter, just like I was telling you with the guy in Louisiana, had he booked those hunts through Venku, like he does 90 to 95% of his other business, that could have never happened.
Yeah.
And
he had his money.
They went in there and ate and skipped out.
I can only imagine how he felt when he woke up the next morning and there was a ghost town.
Oh. So get this, the next morning he gets up and he takes off down the interstate. His boat comes unhooked. Totaled his boat.
Dang.
Add insult to injury, man.
God. Salt to the wound.
Y'all sell boat insurance too?
No, we don't. But salt to the wound.
Man.
Yeah. And still just, actually one of our salesmen, actually it's a girl, and she was really, really good at her job. And her name's Isla. And she was actually down there, and he had invited her. She books just, she's booked him over 100 hunts this season. And he had invited her down, because she had obviously done a very good job for him, and so she was down there, and she was like, all this happened to him in this weekend, and he just kept on rolling. He made sure everybody had a great time. There was, he never checked up. He was just like, he never acted like anything was wrong. And, that's a testament to, that's a testament to a good outfitter. And, like I said, I love being in the business, love being in the outdoor business. And, that's kind of my dream job, growing up. I was like, man, if I could just find something where I was dealing with hunting every day. And, now wake up and I talk hunting from the second I wake up till the second I go to bed. And that's, that's what it is. That's what, awesome. That's what I was, if I couldn't have drawn up a better, and I'm getting to go on hunt, I'm getting to go on hunts. And like I said, I'm flying out and go up there with Dole Weaver and that crew. And we're going to be up there for 7 days and see what it's like north of the border. Right. I'm sure Matt's been there.
He has been there.
I haven't duck hunted. I'm going this year.
Okay. But when are you going?
The 20th of October.
Okay. So you'll be there kind of late.
Mm-hmm. Did you book through Venku?
Yeah. Did you?
This was not a Venku hunt. Matt. No. I don't even know who booked this hunt.
Okay. We'll talk about
That's
that.
Why he's down there.
Yeah, we'll talk about that off air. I don't know. Matt's kind of stout. I don't want to.
Fellas, let me repeat. I am a cameraman. I don't pay for anything. I go to work. I did not kill anything on these trips, except for New Zealand. But
did you kill stag?
No, I killed a Arapara ram.
I don't know what that is.
Can you spell that?
No. I can't even use that in a second. I can't even. Yeah.
Rigor
mortis.
Yep.
You went through a lot of rigmarole to get that Arapara.
I did.
Arapara.
Clip that.
That was a mouthful.
It was.
Arapara ram. Well, I'm looking forward to you guys coming up this winter.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to it.
We'll have a good time.
We always have a good time.
We're either going to kill them in the woods or kill them in the field, but we're going to kill them somewhere.
That's right.
That's where I flooded up for teal season that has no teal on it.
You're just saving the good stuff for the big ducks.
I guess so. But now I'm like caught in this like weird limbo of like, do I drain it back out?
Yeah.
And then flood it back up for duck season, or do I just let it ride at this point? You
just had 3 days of rain straight up there?
Yeah. But at least. I mean, it pretty much started raining at my house on what night did that hurricane come through? What night did Francine roll through? Wednesday?
Did you lock your door?
I did.
She was coming.
I was like Wednesday night. Yeah.
When did I hit the deadbolt?
Sam's like, or my wife, she's like, hey, this hurricane. I was like, woke up in the middle of the night. I'm like, did I lock the doors? Francine, she may be trying to get in here. But they anyway, whatever that was, Wednesday, it just quit raining at my house 10 o'clock this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I had 7 inches.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And so anyway, stopped that field up, and I've got dwarf corn planted in it, and it's basically what I call dirty corn. I just drilled it in there and let smartweed and millet and everything else grow up in it. And I don't ever plant like out there in front of the pit. And so that's all clear out in front of the pit. And I go out there and it's all just natural weeds, bush hog it. And man, I mean, it's like a teal's paradise. I mean, it's where teals should be. And
yeah.
There ain't one there.
They just hadn't found it.
They're not there. But I think as the water falls down and it concentrates, I think it'll concentrate on more. I think they'll end up finding it. But it's such a cool. It's just a really interesting spot to hunt. It's a pit and a levee of the bio to view, and you're behind you is a block of wood, and there's a gap in the trees, and so basically I just bush hog about 80 by 60 yards in front of the pit, and everything else is grown up. Well, it faces south, and what's interesting is the best hunting out of it is a strong south wind. And what they do, there's 2 trees that are broke over behind the pit, and the pit's in a berm, about an 8-foot tall berm, and them ducks, they'll break through them 2 trees, and I mean every single one of them do the same exact thing, and it's a majority. We really don't kill that many like teal out of it, which is kind of interesting because it looks like a really tealy spot, but a lot of mallards and gadwall, and they'll break right through them 2 trees in a straight south wind. They'll come over the pit about 5 yards in the water. I mean, it's the best hunting you can have, and I think it's because they can't sit there and watch. They can't they can't pick everything out.
Yeah.
They're having to work over them trees, and they're like just catching glimpses of the spread and then glimpses of the spread. I mean, I run like, I think last year I ran 31 dozen decoys out on it. And
31 dozen decoys?
Gravy.
yeah, we run a.
What's the math on that, Forrest?
I run a
More than 5.
Yeah, I run a dog and pony show on it, but it's in a high traffic area. We're right, I mean, in the middle of some really, really good. Everybody's got it all flooded in there. It's a very good, like, just high traffic area. So I mean, you got to run a dog and pony show to, I mean, get them. And I run that and then some splashers.
Yeah, I was about to say, how many splashers and spinners we got running?
To me, I think the deadliest thing ever made for ducks was a freaking butt splasher.
Okay.
I believe in them. I'm a firm. It don't matter if I'm in the woods where I'm at, and obviously, which I guess they're bringing back robos on public ground, aren't they?
Yeah.
But,
I like that you said robos.
Yeah.
I can tell your age now that you said robos.
The old mojos.
I have a robo. Still have a robo.
So they. Anyway, so I run like in that spread. I run about 7 splashers, splashers and 2 swimmers, and like I said, it's a freaking dog and pony show. It's the biggest.
No
spread.
spinners.
It's the biggest spread we got. Yeah, on day, I like them. I run all mine on remotes, and I like them for the first 15 minutes if teal's flying around. But some days, I click them off and won't use them all morning. But some days, I mean, I'll run them all morning. I mean, I pretty much try to play that. But if I'm putting them out, if I'm putting 1 out, I'm putting 5 out. Like I don't mess with.
That wasn't even as many as I was expecting.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I put about 5 will be max, and 2, 3 of those be teal, and we run them all on remotes. And I don't. Like I said, I just try to read the ducks, and on days that they want it, like last year. Well, actually, what was kind of interesting was there was kind of about a 2-week period that, I mean, it seemed like everybody I talked to was struggling on just ducks being stale, and we didn't have a good push, and it was like right there on Christmas, and there's what a lot. I mean, there was ducks around, but they've been here since the beginning of season, and we tried everything. Don't call it. I mean, that's what your mind goes to.
Yeah.
Don't talk. Shut up on them. Don't call at them, and tried that and. Nothing. They wouldn't do nothing. And there was about 6 days there that me and 4 or 5 of my buddies was hunting every morning. And I said, well, look, we've tried everything. We threw everything in the kitchen sink at them. I said, let's just, all 4 or 5 of us, scream. I'm talking. And like,
it's my favorite.
From the time we see them to the time they hit the ground. 4 or 5 days in a row, we shot 5, 6 limits every single morning, and and it was straight. I mean, we was shooting pretty much our mallards every morning, but it was screaming at them till their feet hit the water.
Yeah.
If you ever let up,
they leave,
picked up and gone.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just having to, and it's always crazy because you think your mind goes to. These are pressured ducks. They're call shy, is what it always comes up. That's the word they're call shy. They're not call shy. They're just freaking shy of the same call in every single place they go to.
Dude, I really think that they figure it out. Like you're sitting there calling at them. As soon as they get over the top of you, everybody shuts up. Yeah. It's like those ducks are like, oh no.
Hit them on the corner. Hit them on the corners. Try to make them turn.
Yeah.
No, I like I said, with 4 or 5 of us. I mean, we was just, and them dang. I hate to put a plug on a duck call that's other than a pond creek.
It ain't hurting my feelings. We do call reviews on this show. You're not hurting my feelings,
about 4 of us was blowing them layers.
Oh yeah.
Them hybrids.
Well, I will go ahead and tell. I mean, I've said this to multiple people.
Yeah.
I think the one, like if you said, what is the one best duck call? Yeah. The one that I always usually say is a layers.
Yeah. And so, how loud they are, them hybrids. Yeah. And I mean, like I said, 4 of us was in there just freaking screaming at them. And they was just eating it up.
Yeah.
It was all, I mean, they couldn't get down there quick enough. But like I said, at first I was like, all right, well, we got them started. Let's shut up, just start chattering.
Yeah.
No. Go. Which I love that. I love that.
Me too.
Make you feel good about yourself too. We had a couple days in the woods at the end of last year where you had to talk to them all the way till they put their feet in the decoys.
That's my favorite freaking type of hunting. If I'm sitting there and they're just like, if they want to be, when they want to be talked to, don't get me wrong. When you're where they want to be, when you're on the X,
That ain't this podcast, bro.
Instead of off the X.
That's a different podcast.
when you're on the X, and they're just, you don't even have to talk to them. You just look up, okay, here they come, and get ready and thump them. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's fun hunting.
It's fun for a little while,
dude. Talking to them is where it's at. That's one of the things I love about speckled bellies is like before speckled bellies got to the point of what they are. A speckled belly 6 years ago, a speck was like that was the easy. I mean, that was just, they were stupid, and I mean, we saw it. I was a part of it. We went and got a A-frame and some skinnies, and ran them, and then we was taking 15 dudes, and then everybody that was with us thought, well, I can do this, and then they went and bought theirs, and then and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, I can walk out of Cache gas station in Cache, Arkansas, opening morning of speckled belly season, throw a rock and hit 6 different people in the head, that's setting up like going speckled belly hunting. And now they, I mean, you've watched it over the last 5-6 years. They're smart. I mean, they may have a brain the size, they may have the brain the size of a pea, but if you enjoyed a breakfast place and every morning you went to that breakfast place you got shot at, you'd go find a different breakfast place
in a hurry.
I mean, or you would you would do something different. So I don't know. It's been interesting to watch the evolution of, just what we as a human race have done to the, like waterfowl world. I mean, it's, it's kind of, sometimes feel a little bad for them.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. We've talked about that plenty of times on here. But, dude, you've still got to go back all the way home, right?
But I ended up getting a hotel in Conway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
When y'all,
we got 2 more hours. Then.
No, I still got to go home. Yeah, y'all still got to go home. No, yeah. I got to looking at it and I was like, man, 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
that's like my bedtime. I was like, hold on. When Matt told me 8 o'clock, I was like, that's like my bedtime. I'm like, we've usually got the little one down, like 7:30. I'm like, I'm going to bed at 8 o'clock. I was like, I got to get a freaking hotel room. I was like, I ain't even gonna make it back to Jonesboro.
Well, we sure appreciate you making the drive down.
We really do.
You could have done it on Zoom, but to have you here in person and get to know you a little bit more, it's been a lot of fun.
I've had a great time, had a blast.
We've got one more question, and it's the question that Barrett, who's not here, always asks. And I don't know if Matt prepared you for the question or not.
No.
Oh, of course not.
It's off the cuff.
So yeah. So his question usually is if you're sitting around a campfire with a bunch of guys or whatever, hunting or whatever, what's your one story? Like if you've got one story to tell to get a laugh or get a cry or whatever it is, it can be funny, emotional, whatever. If you've got one story, what's your one story that you like to tell?
Man, typically it's for a good laugh, and I told it to y'all on the 30 minutes before on the teal hunt. But
go ahead and tell it again, because I don't think we had it on here. Did we?
Yeah, didn't we talk about that when you said that's your favorite teal hunting?
Yeah, yep. So it was on here. Okay, well you got to find another one now.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. All right. And probably I guess I'd have to get sentimental on it, and that would just be. I remember probably one of the first times that I really remember ever like that I can vividly remember going hunting would be with my grandpa. I mean, my grandpa was just die hard. I mean, every day, and this was back. It was still good. Duck hunting was still, what duck hunting was supposed to be, and he had the same pit every single day and thumped them. I mean, every single morning. It was a mile from his house, and he had a Bronco, 2-door Bronco that he kicked it in 4-wheel drive, and he drove it back and forth. He drove it 120 miles a year was all he got drove, and then he drove his other truck. Anyway, so man, I remember going out there, and just like I said, one of the first really vivid memories was my grandparents would always have Sunday night supper at their house every Sunday, and all extended family and everything came, and went out there, and I had a Red Ryder, and my grandpa, he called this mallard, just plumb down in there, and when it got in there, he said, okay, kill it, and then so he obviously pulled up shot too, and anyway, rolled it, and I thought that was the first duck I ever killed. I mean, I was like, I had a Red Ryder BB gun, and I rode back, ducked my lap, and wouldn't let him put it in the back of the truck. He had his, 4 mallards, he had his, I guess, 3 mallards in the back, and I had this one, had it tucked up on it. I was holding that thing the whole way back, and got back. We had Sunday night supper, and I went in there, never let go of it the whole night.
That's cool.
And finally, my grandpa, he's like, "Look, I got to clean this thing," and I was like, "Yeah," but I'm just walking around back down there, through Sunday night supper, running through my grandpa and grandma's house, and I've got this mallard with me, and that's probably the earliest memory that I have. And my grandpa ended up passing, and he had. Man, I don't know if I had to put a number on it. My grandpa probably had. There's plenty of people that could fact check me on this that knew him, but I would say probably 350 to 400 bands.
Wow.
He had several lanyards, and anyway, and he ended up passing. And shortly after he passed, my grandma's house caught on fire and burned every single one of them.
Oh, man.
They were all a big pile of aluminum, burned every gun he owned.
That's awful.
Yeah, burned everything. And so I hold a lot of that close, dear to my heart.
Yeah.
Just those hunts that I got to go on with him before he passed, because, that's what he was known for. That's what he was, that's what he loved, and that's what everybody knew him for.
Yeah.
He was just a duck killing son of a gun. And so, yeah, probably that. Like I said, that's just probably my first recollection of being out there and really thinking that, I've sure enough, I was 100% convinced that I'd done shot that thing in the eyeball with my Red Ryder, and thumped him. And so that's probably, I think, where I'd have to go to, other than the good comedy early season story, shooting 30 minutes before shooting hours.
Being so young and having that story, so vivid, that's special. Because they can't burn that story out of your head.
That's
All that
exactly
stuff
right.
may burn to the ground, but you always have that.
That's right, and but like I said, that's probably the earliest memory I have of just really being there, and being like in the experience and knowing that, there's knowing that, and I can remember the duck coming in just and everything. And so, yeah, it's something powerful to, grandparents and parents, anything, generations before us that taught us how to do it. That's something we need to hold dear to our heart and make sure that we, with the next generation coming up. Obviously, I've got a boy, and I guess everybody sitting here has got kids. For us. I'm assuming you do.
I've got 2.
And something that we got to, keep on the forefront of our mind of things that we're going to do for them and how we're going to teach them same way that they, that we got taught. And I think that's one of our major callings is, either kind of like we was talking about, either men of God or, outdoorsmen. And so I think that'd have to be my story.
I love that story.
That's a good one.
Honestly, that one, I like that probably better than the other one.
Yeah. Well, you got sentimental or comedy, whichever way you want to go.
Yeah. Dude, I love that. Well, before we get off here, appreciate you coming on. I really enjoyed getting to know you, because Matt's really the only one that's got to talk with you a whole bunch, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Again, another reason he's in the timeout box, because he doesn't share.
Hoarding me up.
But before we get off here, go ahead and plug Venku, where people can find it.
Yeah.
Give us a quick sales pitch one more time on the company and what it is, and then go ahead and plug yourself.
We can, so we'll go over kind of like what we, talked about there at the beginning. Venku, we have 2 different sides. We have Venku, which is our marketplace. We have a full sales team. If you have a hunt that you want to go on, then you do nothing but you hop on venku.com. That's venku.com. And you can search and compare with over 4,000, just under 4,000 experiences. That's hunting and fishing. And there's a number on there. You can inquire about any of the hunts. You can call, and it'll get you directly in touch with one of our sales team. On the other side, we have Hunt Pay, which is for guides and outfitters, and that handles all your calendar, payment processing, general liability forms. We handle all the back office that you don't want to do. And like I said, the best way to get on there is just venku.com, VENKU, and you can find a direct phone number on there. You can inquire about hunts on there, and that's really the number one way to get a hold of us, or check us out on social media, Instagram or Facebook.
Is that Venku also, or Venku Outdoors on Facebook and Instagram? What is it?
Venku. If you search Venku, VENKU, it's actually, so people know this, it's Czechoslovakian for outdoors.
It's another word I can't spell.
That's what I thought it was.
Me either.
A lot of words in this podcast that we can't spell.
Czechoslovakian for outdoors is what Venku means. So you can search Venku on either Facebook or Instagram, and it'll pop right up. Not too many things named Venku.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much that's the pitch right there.
Cool. Well, man, like we said, we sure appreciate your time. We're looking forward to get to know you more. Lots of things coming down the pipe with you guys. Lots of hunts lined up. Lots of ducks to be killed.
That's right.
And until next time, we'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.